The biggest movers and shakers of the week for TCG Player is here. We're going to be going over this week and last week's numbers with the craziest fluctuating prices on some of the coolest Pokemon cards the hobby has. This is written by Corbin Hostler, so shout out, giving credit where credit is due. And this is just going to be the biggest percentage gains or losses that have happened over TCG Player throughout the week. This is this week's version, so 9/24 to 9/18, I believe it covers. Starting off with the Earthen Vessel here, which for competitive reasons is a crazy expensive card. I mean, this card is nuts. Reverse Holo Foil for $9.83. This is coming out of Paradox Rift. And this beats out like half of the illustration rares and almost all of the full arts in Paradox Rift. Maybe even some of the gold cards, it's more expensive. Not the normal one. I mean, maybe still the normal one for $4.33. But $9 is a crazy buck for this card. And this is just a competitive card. Makes sense that it's desirable because of its, viability. It did well at Worlds, NAIC, all those big TCG competitions. It's still in format. Paradox Rift has another 2 years, I believe. So it's going to be around for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if this price kind of drops if Pokemon reprints this card in like a starter deck, like one of the decks you could pick up that that are left on the shelves a lot, the pre-made decks, to kind of lower its price a little bit. But that is pretty crazy. Moving on to what they have here is the Goldo EX standard deck, which the market price of is $73. This, I guess, is a more competitive geared deck, and I guess article, I should say, in the first place. So I'm not really going to touch on this, but $73 for a deck is more expensive in Pokemon terms. Maybe not in other TCGs, but Pokemon wise, definitely a little bit. Here, another competitive card, Mew EX from the Prize Pack series. You can only get these from competing. They have that little stamp right there, and you can pull them out of a pack. Very tough pull rates on those, though. Started at $29 and has since gone up to $51, which is a pretty insane price growth for this, but it's not really pullable in sets. Can't really get this when you're opening up 151 or anything. Has to be those Prize Pack series cards. So yeah, nothing more than interesting to me, because I don't want to cover those kind of exclusive cards a lot. I like covering the cards that you could just find in a set and by opening up a booster pack. Here we got Charizard GX from Burning Shadows. And over the past 3 months, started at like 414, went up to 428, and is since down to 421. And you see these kind of wonky graphs because of not a lot of copies sell of this card. Very expensive card. Not everybody can afford it. If you saw the volume of sales, it'd probably be like a lot less compared to, say, the Earthen Vessel from Paradox Rift that we covered a minute ago, because there are a lot of people buying that card every single day. And the graph looks a little bit more fuller because there's more data to it. And moving down to some illustration rares, it just was the author's few picks that have had strong momentum over the past 7 days. The article says, so you got Mineshaw here from, I believe, Temporal Forces at $6.62. Incredible card. Beautiful card. Black and white Pokemon showing some love. Litten, also, I believe, from Temporal Forces. I could be wrong. Mineshaw might be from Paradox Rift. Litten at $5.30, which is a really awesome card. It's so cool. It's like Litten and a bookshelf. And then we have the Poliwhirl from 151, which is now $12.54, which is pretty crazy. It said that Mineshaw added 30%, which is almost $2. Litten almost went to $7 this week, and Poliwhirl gained $2.50, which is pretty impressive. Especially this card kind of gets, I feel like, overshadowed by some of the other big cards from 151. You got that Charizard, you have the Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle lines that like people really love. And I think this card is probably some of the best artwork from 151, and it's just, you know, a lesser popular Pokemon compared to the starters and everything, but it is a beautiful card, absolutely stunning. Taking a look now at last week's biggest movers and shakers, also by Corbin Hostler. Wanted to take a look at, first off, Stellar Crown Booster Box, which, of course, when this first comes out, there's going to be up-down fluctuations with a new set. For all of kind of pre-release, it was like around $105, $106. And right now it's at $109, which is kind of interesting that a booster box of a new set is up, even though it might be like $2 or $3. It's interesting because it's different than a lot of these Scarlet and Violet era sets that have come out originally, because you had like Scarlet and Violet base on release was like $90. Paldea Evolved might have been $95. Like Paradox Rift was like $87. Like you could get that for below warehouse. All of these sets that came out were really, really cheap. And this one, I mean, it's not like $90, obviously, but it's creeping up kind of, you know, little by little. It makes me wonder what the case is going to be for a lot of pretty popular sets that are going to come, like the Team Rocket set, the Gym Leader set. Like those booster boxes on release might be fairly expensive because the demand is going to be there a lot more than it has for some of the previous sets. As you can see with the Stellar Crown Booster Box, I think the Scarlet and Violet era sets are becoming more and more popular. Here is the Mew EX, which we covered about 2 weeks ago, and this card is just still killing it. I think we covered it around September 10th, where it hit $63, went down to $62, and now has come up to be at just under a $70 card. And a month ago it was $54. So it's added a good chunk of value to it. Once again, a beautiful card from Legendary Treasures from the Black and White era. It is probably one of the most magnificent full arts ever Pokemon has ever made. I love the idea that you could get this in a pack too. And it's like got that kind of blue hue rainbow going on. It is absolutely an incredible card. And yeah, just a year ago, if we take a look at that, it started off as $40 and has pretty much just gained $30 over the course of the year, which is killer. So shout out Mew EX from Legendary Treasures. Here we have Pikachu V from the Prize Pack series. And this one's kind of a clown because this card, somebody's listed it for like $200,000 on tcgplayer. I made a short like making fun of that a while ago. And it's $221 from the Prize Pack series. Once again, another Prize Pack card that I just don't know enough about. But that is crazy expensive, $221. And then here we have some cards that are getting some momentum. You have the Umbreon at $8.54. This is a promo from Sword and Shield, I believe. Maybe Sun and Moon. Eevee from Brilliant Stars at $3.16. And the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box promo Mimikyu at $14. That's actually gotten some price jump, actually. It moved up from $8, that Mimikyu did. So that's kind of impressive for, you know, it's an Elite Trainer Box promo, the Pokemon Center one, so it's a little bit more valuable and hard to attain, but pretty neat. Raging Bolt at $5.42 and Hero's Cape at $6.02. Just moving up slightly. I think they've come down since this because they moved from 5 to 7, but now they're back down to 6 and 5. The Venusaur EX happening to be one of my favorite cards from the Scarlet and Violet generation, and from 151, I think, in general. It is so beautiful, like the flowers. Kind of reminds me of that Gardenia card from Crown Zenith, that alternate art Gardenia. It is incredible. It's cool to see that you know, I guess is getting some hype and attention. It's very close in price to the Blastoise EX, but that is the last card. That is going to wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you have to think or what you have to say on these cards. Can't speak today. And let me know if you have any recommendations or requests on a video that you would like to see next. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.